Alright, let's dive right in because this story is a full course meal of satisfaction. You're going to want to grab a snack, settle in, and get comfy because we're about to break this down in all its messy, jaw dropping glory. Trust me, you won't want to miss a second of this. There's this TikTok mom who thought she could rally the internet troops after claiming a restaurant wronged her during what was supposed to be a peaceful family outing. But oh, the internet had other plans for her. Instead of sympathy and virtual hugs, she got dragged, roasted, and served up like an overcooked steak on a platter of accountability. And honestly, she's absolutely walked right into it. The mom at the center of this storm is Renee Barengret, an Australian single mom co-parenting three boys. She was enjoying a vacation at the Gold Coast with her almost 2-year-old son. Sweet, right? It sounds like the makings of a heartwarming story until everything spiraled into chaos. During her little getaway, Renee decided to have a meal with her mother in a cozy, family-owned Asian restaurant called Lemongrass Thai on Tedder Avenue, a highly rated spot, mind you, known for its calm atmosphere and excellent food. From Renee's tearful account posted on TikTok, you'd think she survived some personal attack or gross injustice. In a shaky, tear-soaked video, she poured out her version of events, explaining that the restaurant gave her the worst service. Spoiler alert, she was the actual problem, not the restaurant, and not anyone else. According to Renee, the restaurant did not have a high chair available when they arrived. She claimed she was okay with that, but moments after sitting down, her son Ziggy wandered off to another nearby table where a newborn baby was peacefully resting with its family. From there, Ziggy decided to explore and started fiddling with a decorative pot plant placed inside the restaurant. Renee was quick to clarify that it was a fake plant, as if that was somehow making it completely acceptable for her child to treat the establishment's property like a playground. She insisted Ziggy wasn't causing any harm, just being curious, and brushed off any concerns about his behavior. But when a restaurant worker politely approached and asked her to please keep her child seated for safety reasons, things took a sharp turn, an awkward turn. Instead of accepting the polite and reasonable request, Renee became defensive and argumentative almost instantly. She blamed the restaurant for not providing a high chair, even though she had already agreed to sit without one. She insisted that her son wasn't doing anything wrong and suggested that he would settle down when the food arrived. Essentially, she was asking the restaurant staff to put their faith in a toddler's unpredictable behavior, a gamble no business could reasonably take. Despite the staff remaining calm and respectful, Renee refused to comply. The restaurant then had no choice but to inform her that if she couldn't keep her child seated, they wouldn't be able to serve her. Rather than taking responsibility, Renee scooped up her toddler and stormed out of the restaurant, her pride wounded and her indignation mounting. Back at the hotel, Renee wasted absolutely no time. Spiraling deeper into her feelings with tears streaming dramatically down her face, she grabbed the phone, pressed record, and poured out an emotional TikTok, complete with shaky voice and heavy sighs for full effect. She detailed at length how devastated she was that the restaurant did not understand how hard her morning had been, painting a picture of a mother who had already battled mountains just to reach that point of the day. She stressed that she was just trying to do something fun with little Ziggy, and emphasized how her heart was heavy because her other boys weren't able to join them on this spaceship trip.
Now, I'm really sorry for a sloppy TikTok because I see people crying. I'm like, put your fucking phone down. If this makes someone think for just a tiny second, I'm going to post it. We just went to an Asian restaurant that was on, I don't know, it had good stars, good ratings. So we're like, yep, we'll go there for dinner. I've got a busy toddler, yes. Firstly, they had no high chair. I was like, that's okay. He sits on a chair at home, he'll eat at the table with us. Not perfect, but he'll eat with us. Mum and I are having a drink and he got off the chair. He went and said hello to the people next to us. Mind you, there was literally one family there with a newborn and someone else down there very far away. He started playing with the pot plant, fake pot plant. He was not doing anything wrong. He was just minding his own business, not pulling it apart or anything. They came over to me and they said, could you please put your child in the seat? Well, if you can't sit down the whole time, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I said, you haven't offered us a high chair. He's not doing anything wrong. He's not harming anything. He's not doing anything wrong. He will sit and eat dinner when it comes. Sorry, if he's not going to sit there the whole time, I'm sorry, we can't serve you here. So out we got and we left. Now we're in the hotel room. Maybe they would have thought twice if they realised that I was out all morning chasing him, trying to do something fun for him. Maybe he would have thought twice if he knew that I had been waiting for him to wake up so we could go out for dinner as a family. Just us two and my mum. The ordeal to even try and get to a restaurant in the first place. The fact that our heart's a little bit heavy because his two brothers aren't with us this weekend. It's been so fucking hard, this trip, and it's just such a reminder. You just don't know where people are at or what they're doing in that moment, and just something like that can just be really fucking upsetting. I said, you obviously are not kid friendly here, so we're gonna go. He said, yes, thank you. What? So now we're gonna order Uber Eats, aren't we? Safe in our room. I love you.
In Renee's world, it seemed the restaurant staff should have been mind readers, somehow seeing into her soul, sensing her struggles, and tailoring their professional environment to accommodate her emotional journey. According to her, their failure to treat her with extra softness and spatial allowances made them cold, heartless, and lacking compassion. She did not stop there. Renee went on to declare that the restaurant was not kid-friendly, painting it as a place hostile to families and children. She claimed that because of the staff's unfeeling behavior, she was forced, yes, to abandon her dinner plans and order Uber Eats back at the hotel, as if this were some tragic ending to her day rather than the result of her own unwillingness to manage her child's behavior. To wrap up her speech with a final emotional punch, she delivered a classic plea to humanity. Be kind, because you never know what somebody's going through. A sentiment that, at face value, sounded touching and noble. It would almost make you want to rally behind her if you did not know the full context. But once you peel back the overly dramatized layers, the truth behind becomes glaringly obvious. Renee wasn't mistreated. She wasn't the tragic figure she was trying to portray. She simply did not want to follow the basic restaurant etiquette and safety rules that apply to everyone else. She wanted a pass, and when she did not get it, she reached for the sympathy card instead of the accountability card. When Renee publicly named the restaurant in her video, she clearly hoped her followers would swarm the business with negative reviews and public outrage. But to her shock, the internet turned its critical gaze back on her. Instead of support, Renee found herself facing wave after wave of criticism. Commenters quickly pointed out the glaring entitlement in her story. If a restaurant openly states they don't cater to toddlers with high chairs and has limited space, why should they completely rearrange the environment to suit one person's needs? Veteran wait staff and restaurant workers jumped into the comments too, explaining how dangerous it is to have unsupervised toddlers running around with hot dishes, slippery floors, heavy trays, and sharp cutlery. It's a recipe for disaster. Literally. One comment summed it all perfectly. If you can't control your child at a restaurant, maybe you shouldn't bring them.
And let me hit you with a little bit of reality. I have worked at several restaurants, and in every single one that I've ever worked at, you would have been asked to leave too. It's a fucking safety issue. You have one child, one toddler that you failed to keep in his seat. I'm a mother of 6. All right? 6. And while my husband was in the military, I raised him and did everything all by myself. And I didn't have the benefit of having my mommy close. My children never got out of their seats unless it was to use the bathroom. They knew how to behave in a restaurant.
Feeling the heat, Renee eventually turned off her comment section, cutting off the very feedback she claimed to welcome. Before she did, though, she managed to squeeze out another passive-aggressive video. In it, she repeated her claims that people did not know the full story and insisted that her son wasn't causing any problem. She even compared Lemongrass Thai to another restaurant she had visited the night before, where the staff apparently hugged Ziggy goodbye. According to her, if one restaurant could do it, all others should follow suit, because clearly customer service means acting as part-time babysitter, right? Of course, she ended her rant with a heavy dose of guilt-tripping, scolding other women for not supporting women, as if being called out for reckless parenting was somehow an act of betrayal against feminism.
Just in regards to my video about us being asked to leave a restaurant because my toddler wasn't sitting at the table, I just cannot believe how many made-up narratives there are in the comment section, and people are just like following along thinking they know what happened. This mother also experienced the same type of treatment when she went to the restaurant. I'll leave the comment and review here. Obviously not a kid-friendly. I didn't see this until after, because I wouldn't have supported a restaurant that didn't let a newborn sit in their pram because there was no room. I still wholeheartedly stand by what I said. We were not treated fairly in this situation. My son was at arm's reach away from me, not harming anyone. We were the furthest table away from the kitchen. There was literally 3 tables, including us, in the restaurant at the time. I have taught my boys to sit at a restaurant respectfully, to use their manners, just like any other mother would, and I'm doing the same with Ziggy. if he is to hop off the chair for a moment to engage with a family with a baby sitting next to us, that should be okay. If he was causing harm to property, if he was in the way of the kitchen, if he was in the way of staff, yes, I completely wholeheartedly can say we deserve to be asked to leave. But he did none of the above. All these narratives in the comment section are bullshit. All I was trying to do was make light of the fact that sometimes people need to be a little bit more lenient when people are out with toddlers. It's not always going to go as planned. No, it is not a playground. It is not a playpen. None of those things. I have never treated a place like that when I'm out with my children. The night before, we were at a beautiful restaurant and the staff were so lovely to Ziggy, playing with him, interacting with him. Ziggy was doing the exact same thing, just standing around our table, going for a little wander, not in anyone's way, and they were beautiful. They even gave Ziggy a hug goodbye. Everyone has a right to their own opinion, and I'm aware of that. I put myself out on social media. I caught backlash. But for the people being absolutely, utterly cruel and making up scenarios that didn't even happen, commenting on my parenting, me as a person, you need to think twice when you are writing something. I'm a human being. Some of those comments are absolutely disgusting, and it's just not okay.
This was the moment Renee's entire narrative collapsed like a house of cards. Expecting restaurant staff to entertain your child while you leisurely enjoy your meal isn't motherhood, it is entitlement. And to weaponize the concept of women supporting women to deflect from legitimate criticism, that is emotional manipulation, plain and simple. This wasn't about a lack of kindness, it was about a lack of basic personal responsibility and an unwillingness to accept that public spaces require shared respect. But wait, there is more. Just when you thought she'd finally step back and reflect, Renee went even further, posting a TikTok essay dripping with even more self-pity and melodrama. Here is a particularly telling snippet. I did not turn off comments because people disagreed with me. I have always welcomed respectful debates. However, what I received was not healthy discussion. It was severe bullying, harassment, personal attacks, and the complete misrepresentations of my parenting and character. She portrayed herself as a helpless target of vicious attacks, criticized false narratives, and mourned the lack of solidarity among women. She admitted that maybe she shouldn't have named the restaurant but refused to fully own up to consequences of her action. It was a never-ending parade of poor me without even a whisper of genuine accountability. Meanwhile, the reality remained glaringly obvious. She refused to control her child in a crowded restaurant and then tried to play the victim when faced with very reasonable consequences. Restaurant side of the story, let's get to hear it. Now finally, Lemongrass Thigh responded, and they did it with a professionalism, clarity, and a level of patience that honestly deserves a round of applause. Their statement to Kids Sport was detailed, respectful, and painted a very different picture from the emotional scene Renee had described. They laid out the facts, step by step, without any dramatics. Before seating them, they clearly informed Renee that they did not have high chairs available for toddler. Renee acknowledged this information and confirmed that he was fine, choosing to stay regardless. They seated her near the restaurant's entrance, a narrow, high-traffic area where space was already limited and constant movement was expected. Soon after, her son began wandering around the restaurant, exploring and playing with interior decor items meant for ambience, not for toddlers to tamper with. As more guests started arriving and Uber Eats drivers moved in and out, the restaurant's small entrance became increasingly congested. Recognizing the growing safety hazard, staff members approached Renee in a polite and respectable manner, requesting that she please ensure her child remained seated for everyone's safety. Renee, however, dismissed their concerns with a casual "it's a kid," brushing off the very real danger her son's behavior presents. Staff members then explained that unless the child could be kept seated, they would be unable to safely continue serving. Rather than cooperating, Renee chose to leave the restaurant entirely. Short, respectful, and brutally honest. Without the performative emotion Renee tried to spin into her narrative. They did not attack her character, they simply stated the chain of events as they happened, offering a version of grounded entirely in reality. The restaurant further emphasized that while they consider themselves family-friendly, the safety of their customers and staff must come first, especially in a small, bustling environment where one distracted stay could lead to a child getting hurt, a server spilling boiling food, or a customer being injured. Their focus wasn't on being anti-child, but on ensuring that everyone inside their establishment, including little Ziggy, stayed safe. In the end, Lemongrass Thigh handled the situation with a lot of more grace and professionalism than many other businesses might have. Let's be crystal clear, Renee wasn't removed because she's a mother or because of her child. She was asked to leave because she failed to manage her child in a way that ensured everyone's safety. Restaurants are responsible for creating a safe environment for everyone, not catering to the personal preferences of one entitled guest. This wasn't discrimination, this was common. At the end of the day, this wasn't bullying either. This wasn't harassment, this wasn't feminist betrayal. This was a textbook example of the internet calling someone out for behaving poorly in a public space and refusing to own up to it. Instead of reflecting, apologizing, or growing from the experience, Renee chose to double, triple, and quadruple down on her victim narrative, blaming everyone but herself. Hopefully, this incident serves as a lesson, not just for Renee, but for everyone watching, that sometimes you're not the victim. Sometimes you're just wrong. What is your take on this wild story? Was Renee acting entitled, or could the restaurant have handled it differently? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and hey, while you're here, smash that little button and subscribe for more juicy breakdowns. Trust me, you will not want to miss what's coming next. Stay tuned.